Hello again. And this part I'm going to talk about Photoshop is resolution and working with image sizes, making sure that the various images that you're using are the correct size as you put together your layout. So I have several images. I have a lookbook, which is 8.5 by 11. I have a photograph of my backdrop, which would be my background, which is the building Pan Am. I have a woman in a white dress. I have a man standing in the middle of the road. I have a child standing against a wall. And I have a boy standing near a white wall. So all of these images have different issues with it that I have to fix. So as this one here, you have an image of the little boy, but you got all this extra image around. So what I want to do is crop it and also check the image size, because if I put this into my layout, it will not fit properly. So I'm going to put together my layout. So starting with my book and my background. So I'm going to say select all. I'm going to go edit and copy. Go to my page and paste. And as you can see, it's a large file and it's not fitting in. And then I will have to readjust it and resize it. So I'm going to delete this layer. And to delete it, I'm just going to select it and hit delete. Now I'm going to go back to this image again. Now before I select it and copy it, I'm going to check image size. And I'm going to check the resolution, how big this image is. So I'm going to go to image, down to image size, and I'm going to check. It's 30 inches wide, 44 inches tall, and a 72 pixels per inch. So that is way too big for what I need. So what I'm going to do is change the height to 11 and see where it takes me. And then I'm going to change this to 150. And I'm going to say OK. So now, when I copy this, another thing you have noticed, it became smaller. So I'm going to select all again, copy this, go to my lookbook and paste. And now you will see it is fitting to the height I need, and it's just a little bit short on the side of width. So I can easily transform that and fill it in. And hit enter. So it has become a little bit bigger, but it fits much better than before. So if I go to another image, which is this woman here, I'm going to select all, copy, go to my lookbook and paste. So her image is covering up my background with the trees and all the image around her. So this is too much information going on. So what I'm going to do is go to her image and I'm going to go to the crop tool and I'm going to trimming away what I don't need. So I'm going to choose the basic crop tool. There's several. Perspective crop as well. So I'm just going to use the basic crop tool. Drag a selection around her. And if your crop tool is doing this, making a rectangle, a square, and scaling, then check the settings up here. And right now it's doing 1-to-1 square. So I'm going to go back up to ratio and I'm going to take away 1-to-1 and clear. So you may have that issue if it comes on. Now I'm going to go back and see. Now I can modify my crop. So I'm going to do a close crop around her. Hit enter. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go to image size. And I need her to be a certain height. So if I'm looking at right now, it's telling me she's 11 inches. So I don't need her to be that tall. So I'm going to change it to 5.5 and 150. And that's matching the background. And it's matching the lookbook resolution. So let's go back. Say select all. Copy. Go back to my lookbook. And we'll paste. And there you have it. Pasting her. So now I'm going to go get another image. And if I just crop and don't change my resolution, I may get the wrong result. So I would need him to be 5.5. So I'm going to go to the lookbook and paste and see. This is uneven. So if you're doing a web page or a catalog, they may want everything to match. Yes, you can resize it and get it to match. But to save yourself the trouble, go back, go to image size, change it to 150, 5.5. Select all, copy. And another thing you can do before you copy is do this. Convert the image to a smart object. This is going to save information about your artwork. So you'll see a little icon. Let me go to panels, make it bigger. You can see right there in the corner the little icon for the smart object. So I'm going to say select all, copy, go back to my lookbook, and paste. So going to one more image. I'm going to crop. And I'm going to leave a little space around him. Image size, 5.5, 150. Convert to smart object. Select all, copy, go to your layout, and paste. But depending upon what you may want to do, you may want to resize some other images. But you try to keep things in proportion, maybe, that's all consistent for the page layout, and that you don't have some bigger and some smaller. So that's always to keep in mind. And another thing, you can do is that I noticed that the file smart object changed. So I'm going to here, still convert to smart object. And the same with her, convert to smart object. And the background, convert to smart object. So for this project, it's keeping it smart object. If you wanted to, it's still a smart object, but if you take this, I'm going to close the panel. If you drag him into your layout, and hopefully it will change. So dragging him over, that file stayed as a smart object. So the finished product, after you have everything done is to convert into a smart object and make sure to name your layers. So to go to your layers, go to layer 1, click to highlight the layer, enter. So you don't want a layer, just take it, grab it, drag it to the trash can, highlight the trash can, and let go. And that will remove it. So you will have a consistent layout of images. And this goes for if you were even putting together a lookbook, say in Illustrator, the same thing. So let's check. These boxes are a little bit smaller. They're 5 inches, so you will have to, so this is a half an inch bigger, but you will crop it, make it 5 inches, and then you won't have a problem bringing it into your catalog. So let's go back to him, image size, make it 5, select all, copy, go to Illustrator, and paste. And you have it ready, and putting it together in a lookbook or a magazine or a catalog. You may have certain sizes for a catalog, and you want to make sure each image is fitting on that page, and you're not spending hours readjusting them. So that is the important part of resolution in Photoshop, is that it saves you a lot of time making sure everything match. And it's more important with Photoshop that everything is matching, or if someone's doing a magazine or a catalog for a company, that all of these information is what the printer will need. So that is a little bit of resolution, image size, and Smart Object. Smart Object allows you to, if you change something, you can always turn it off and go back to your original state. So if I did a effect, let's say, for example, I do this, it is now a smart filter, which I can turn off, or I can change my mind and completely turn it off, or even click here on adjustment and do other little adjustments to that. But it protects the original from being completely modified. So that is why you have a smart object. So that's introduction to smart objects and why they're useful in Photoshop. Thank you for watching.